Hello lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a blog where I discuss all the books I have read this week, what my plans are for next week, what books I'm planning to read, as well as other things I've been up to this week because I have developed a new obsession. But anyway, let's get into everything. First off, I read a total of over 2,000 pages this week, I believe. In total 3 books. I'm going to review the books in order. So book number 1 is Things I Wanted to Say by Monica Murphy. All these books are going to be Monica Murphy because Monica Murphy is a queen and I love her writing. I don't know why it is, but I'm obsessed with her writing. But anyway, Things I Wanted to Say. This was 640 pages long and I read it in one day. I don't know how I do it. I think this is my greatest accomplishment in life though. Truly, I don't think I will hit any higher standards in life, but I honestly love this book. Brief summary, it's a second chance romance. We have our lead, which is Summer and Whit. I love this because it's kind of Black Mirror. It's Black Mirror. Both characters are morally grey people, and it's not a grumpy sunshine. Both of them are miserable people who are grey and bitter and don't trust in life. They meet in school first. Stuff goes on there, and then they meet again up later later life. And it's very much they needed time apart to work out who they wanted to be as human beings in that case. But it flowed fairly nicely, and I really enjoyed reading this. I enjoyed the plot points. I enjoyed all the blackmail. The mum is psycho though. And as I progressively reveal these books, you'll understand how psycho the mum is in this. The only critique I have from reading the 3 books I read this week was someone needed to slap that woman. Someone needed to slap her, okay? There were so many incidents where I just sat reading the book and someone slap her. Because, right, bearing in mind, they were about to fully be together, be happy, everything, the full works, and then the mother appears. The mother tells her she's going to tell the police that she committed arson and got rid of her stepbrother and stepfather, which she didn't. It was actually her mum, and it's a whole situation. But she didn't, and she threatened Summer to leave Whit by the point where she ends up leaving Whit and makes it into a second chance romance because she threatens her because Summer isn't good enough. And yeah, I kind of get her point of view in this sense. The mum's in this one is slightly valid, saying that she is the daughter of your husband's mistress that broke up your marriage, which is fair, but still, you don't do that to people. Also, Summer's mum is I don't know how to say it, but she's kind of iconic, but kind of not, because this woman is just been married 3 times, I think. Well, no, got together with 3 different men over the course of this book, all of which are married, all of which end up in scandals. So Summer's stepfather was originally married to another woman, and that all happened. Also, Summer's stepbrother is disgusting and deserved to perish in that fire, okay? He deserved it. He was a horrible human being. The fact that the mum was not helping her and Summer had no support system, and that's the reason why she's so broken in the book, and the reason why her worked so perfectly. But also, she was very broken. She was unbelievably broken because of that man. And the fact that the mum kind of acknowledged it, and instead of trying to support and be there for her daughter, decided, no. I really dislike the mums in this book, but I kind of like Summer's mum as well because she was just going around sleeping with married men for some reason. Summer's stepfather was originally married to another woman, and she was the other woman. They got to and caused the divorce, and she married him, and then she caused the divorce for Whit's father by being the other woman whilst married to someone, and then after that all implodes, she gets with another married man and ends up causing another divorce and marrying that man. I'm just like, huh? At some point, I think the woman needs to reflect and go, is this really the right life choices? But I also really enjoyed this book and I would recommend it. There's a lot of drama. This is the closest approaching to dark romance. A lot of people will describe Monica Murphy books as dark romance, but personally I don't ever find them to be dark romance too much, just because of my personal experience reading other dark romance books. I like to describe this one as morally grey, and it never teeters too far. and never like pushes the actual like very thin line that determines something as dark romance. I always feel like it's just on the edge. So if you ever want to get into dark romance, a good starting point will be a Monica Murphy book, especially the Lancaster Prep storylines. But anyway, I really enjoyed this book. Honestly, I think it's like a 5 out of 5 read for me because of how much I read it and how enwrapped I was. I love the character developments. I loved how they had so many different flaws. I love characters with flaws. It makes them feel more realistic, and I think this is one of the reasons I really loved the book, because they had flaws and they needed to be with each other but also have time apart from each other to work out them flaws and develop as individual characters. So it worked really well. Right, now next book is Promises We Meant to Keep by Monica Murphy. This book takes place, so at the end of this book we have Summer and Wick getting married. And basically, this book is different though. This book we get a lot of past and present in it, just because of it takes place in tandem kind of. So we're following on from the wedding in this book, but we get a lot of past snippets because it is a second chance romance. And yet again, do you want to know who caused this second chance romance? Oh yes, it's the mother. This is where the mother starts hurting me physically. I hate the mother in this book. Do you want to know what the mother did? Yeah, no. So, the mother in this book, not only from the age of 8, so her daughter is 8, okay, poisoned her, tried to get rid of her, made her chronically ill so she had the attention and could look after a child. She has quotably gone, "You're my mini-me." This woman is psychotic, okay? She was psychotic from the moment her first daughter was born, because her name is Sylvia, and she named her daughter Sylvie, okay? She's like, "You're my mini-me, you're me." Yeah, she does crazy things throughout this entire book. And it's one of the main reasons that Sylvie is the way she is. She's distrusting. People don't know if she's telling the truth or if she's lying. And people struggle, and she struggles to trust and connect to people, which makes sense. She's been controlled her entire life. She doesn't know how to live by herself. You want to know why that is? Oh yes, because Sylvie was in love with Spencer, and she had been for years, and had been trying to get with Spencer for years, but she's always been too ill. His is also Brooker's best friend. So Spencer is Whit's best friend, okay? But like, there was a bunch of other things, and she finally got the chance, and then that didn't work. And then the reason they got together for the first ever time was because Summer was informed that she was being married off to a 70-year-old man. Yes, you heard right. The mum sold her off to a 70-year-old man to hold on her arm. But don't worry, they never did anything, because he was a gay man who liked younger men. And by younger men, I mean barely 18 men, and wanted to be with Summer to meet her gay friends. Yes, you heard that right. Yeah, no. And this is one of the many things Summer's mum, and she goes, "But why don't you love me? Why won't we spend time together?" And I'm just like, she's psycho. She's the gaslighting final boss, okay? And like every time someone lets her back into her life, she tries to harm her and will do various other things. And like, there's multiple different things. The peak of her insanity, I think, personally for me, is when she comes back from going abroad and comes back with basically Sylvie's face plastered on because she got that much plastic surgery done, okay? The woman is insane, and I love the book. I read this also in a day, and I love it because the mum is insane, and I love the drama, but also at the same time I'm like, oh my god, you're insane. Like, to the point where Sylvie just keeps running away and trying to hide from people. In her marriage, she ran away and didn't talk to any of her family. Then after after her husband died, bearing in mind she is still in her early 20s, after her husband dies, she tries to let her mum back in, and the mum tries to get rid of her again. So then she shuts everyone out completely. And then people trying to grab her, and then her late husband left her a property. So then she runs away to that property and stays hidden. And the only person who ever finds her is Hunter. Not Hunter. Yeah. Wait. Spencer. Don't know where I got Hunter from there. But Spencer. Okay? Spencer is the one who finds her. Alright? And literally, the entire time, I'm just like, I feel so sorry for Summer. And like, they're trying to work out their entire relationship, but they can't fully trust each other because they don't know when one's lying and when one's not, because they've been deceived so often. And like, honestly, it's a whole mess. And then like, the mum, thankfully, dies in this book, okay? The mum dies in the book, and I'm very, very glad it happens, and it's all very dramatic and everything, but, like, the mum was literally screaming at her, trying to grab Silly, like, you're my mini-me, and I was just like, oh my god, this woman is insane. But I honestly loved the book. The book was so good. Like, it was such a good read. I could not put it down. I loved the contrast of the present and the past and how the storylines matched up and the contrast between those two in those points in time. So I would recommend reading this one. And then the next book I read, which was a very nice break in a way from the last one, was I'll Always Be With You. This one is a lot cuter. This one's a lot sweeter. This one's just a nice book compared to the other one. This one, though, somehow, even though it's like the smallest out of them, took me 3 days to read. And I think that was just because I was mentally just not there after reading the last book, okay? This one is Caroline and Wes. So Caroline is the youngest out of the 3 siblings. She also is a dancer who left for London after the divorce to take up dance instead of staying in the States for her childhood, okay? And I love it because when she first ever meets Wes, she pretends to be a Parisian woman and just goes annoying American, and he's just rude to him in the entire night. He's like, I'm in love with this woman. And, like, you might be like, Rosie, you can't say he was in love. He was the first time ever meeting this woman. I'm like, Caroline drawed on his wrist and he got it tattooed the minute she left him. Right? They were adorable though. I love their relationship because it's like, she is a very recluse person and withdrawn into herself due to her family divorce and her family situationship and, like, everything going on there, okay? And her family situationship was already messed up from the get-go, okay? But, like, she withdrew into herself quite a lot. And this, I believe, is the main reason that led her not to, like, touching emotions and being personal with each other. All she knew and all she could find comfort was in dance, apart from when she was with Wes, because she felt a connection with him. She felt like a kindred soul. And I love their relationship and their development. And then, yet again, Monica Murphy writes second chance romances, okay? All of them are. She likes adding that complex thing into it. So this one's formatted different because you have part 1, part 2. Part 1 takes place whilst they're in Lancaster Prep, and part 2 starts 2 years later at Summer and Whit's wedding, okay? But, like, the whole reason, but she writes plausible ones, is never because of the people in the relationship that it ends up ending, really. It's always because of external circumstances what make them more realistic. So in Wes and Caroline's case, Wes' father was diagnosed with cancer and was, like, on death's door, okay? And he was not dealing with that because he is the only child. He has been told that he has to take over the family company and run everything, and that he's going to have to graduate early and leave Christmas break, okay? And he's in a relationship with Caroline. He's not quite sure how she feels about it, isn't quite sure what type of relationship they're in and where they are at. They just know they really like each other, okay? But they haven't said that to each other. And she's planning to leave for London the minute she finishes school because she was forced back to the States by her mother again because she's like, you're too wild and not representing Lancasters because she had one night of fun. Like, okay, cool, sure. Right. Anyway, so you have the entire that one, and their relationship ends up ending because they get suspended because a crazy girl records them doing it, okay? The first time they ever did it together, a crazy girl recorded them doing it in the private of their own door, sent it all over social media, and they got suspended. And when they got suspended, he had to go all the way back to Napa, back to where, wherever his family is, and never ended up coming back because his dad basically was about to die, and he was like, you need to stay, you can't go back, you're gonna have to graduate early and we're gonna have to, like, get you ready to take over the company and everything. And then it kind of just like, but the last thing they said to her was like, wait for me, I'll be back. And it's 2 years later and she's like, well, he never came back. And she's kind of pissed about that, but also she's just kind of living. And the mum is meddling it again because the mum was like, oh, you could break the mum. I hate the mum. The mum is manipulating every single one of her children in different ways, and she's trying to get into each of her children's life, and they're just like, no, you're not a nice person. Like, leave us alone. But she won't leave them alone. Like, there's something wrong with the mum, okay? I've never seen such an evil mum written in, like, a book I've read. Because normally the books I read, the mum's normally dead or the mum's not around. Like, it's a very reoccurring theme. It's like the Disney effect where mums aren't allowed to exist in fiction, and when they do, they're evil. Okay? And like, this mum is evil. And like, you might be like, but what about the dad? The dad's not really there. The dad's too busy sleeping with 20-somethings, okay? The dad had an affair, and the dad keeps sleeping with younger women, okay? But like, I love their relationship in this, because it's like, they did fit each other perfectly, and they just needed time to grow and mature as adults. It's like, I love it because he is like, I want to sell my company. Well, the family, like, champagne company, because he doesn't want that in life. He doesn't want to sit in board meetings and just do that for the rest of his life. He wants to find out what he wants to do, because he couldn't even go to uni. He wasn't even allowed to go to university or anything, because he had to take over the board at 18. He had to take over an entire massive company at 18 because his dad died, okay? So, like, he hasn't actually had a chance to actually try and live a life at all. So, he's been like, Caroline, for the past 2 years, I've tried not to think about you, but all I can do is think about you, but I couldn't do anything because I've been stuck and I need to get life sorted out. And like, he's finally about to sell the company, and he goes to London where Caroline is performing every single night and just sits in the audience and watch every single night. He sends flowers, particular flowers. He chose a type of flower that is the exact same colour she turns when she's embarrassed, like the same flush colour. And he sends those ones, and then he sends jewellery to her that he knows she'll like. And he was just there for her every single night. Even if she doesn't want him there, he will just keep showing up for her to show that he's dedicated. And I love it, because he's just proving that he will show up every single time. And that's what he's doing. He's proving to Caroline that he would be there. And he's just like caring for her, looking after her for her, making sure he's there for her every single time, so then she can take it on her own terms. And I love it, honestly. I love their relationship. Honestly, it was a really good read. I would recommend that one. This one took me longer to read, but I did really enjoy it. I enjoyed the relationship, and it was a much more relaxing read than the other two. But I think that's why it took me longer, because I was like enthralled by the drama and I needed to know what happened next instantly. But this one, it was just nice to sit, pick up, and like read every now and again. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. But those were the books I read this week. I honestly will recommend Monica Murphy till my dying breath. She is one of my favourite authors of all time. My goal is to try and get the Callahan series next, or the sequels to this series. I've got one more book to read in this series, and then I have officially finished the Lancaster Prep original series. She has 2 spin-off books, or maybe more, of that series as well, about the younger generation. So I want to read them as well. But yeah, no, I love Monica Murphy, okay? She's one of my favourite authors. But that's all I've read this week. In regards to next week and what I'm planning, I'm going abroad to Greece, because I love Greece. I go nearly like every year at this point, but it's one of my favourite countries in the world, so I'll be going abroad. So I will probably have a travel blog maybe coming out next week or later, either of me flying there and what books I'm taking. So you have that to look forward to, maybe, I don't know. Depends on what I end up doing there and like how often I actually have my phone on me. But probably just going to get a lot of YouTube shorts of just me in Greece next week. In other terms, my new obsession though is K-pop Demon Hunters, especially the Saja voice. Oh my god, a new favourite film. I have a problem. I have a serious problem. I've been listening to the album on repeat. I have also watched the film about 5 times now. It does not help that I'm in a K-pop society group at uni and we all love K-pop and we've all just been talking about it all week. And it does not help that 2 other people in my D&D group also are obsessed with the film. And it doesn't help that I'm also just obsessed with K-pop. It is such a good film. Oh my god, I love it so much. Everyone should watch it. But yeah, no, that is literally what I've been doing for the past couple of days. Instead of reading, just watching that film. So good. So good. I loved it so much. But anyway, I think that's all for today. I haven't really posted that much this week, but that's just because I've been reading these. And honestly, I haven't just stopped reading. But that's all I have to say for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you've been reading this week, or if you have any book suggestions of what I should read next, and you should go read.